All
Hi,
right.
everybody.
Hi, and welcome. This is Vicki Draper,
And
Amazon
this is
bestselling author, healer, and animal communicator with healingyouranimal.com. And we have also,
Ariel Hubbard, and I'm from arielhubbard.com. I'm an energy healer, massage therapist, and clinical hypnotherapist. And we have some fun information for you about the transition into fall.
that's right. Now, whether I know you on some level are feeling the shifts, the change in the weather, the change in schedules, the change in the daylight, change in the nature, the trees starting to turn, everything's, preparing for fall. Well, our animals are really, really sensitive to that. And especially if you have a new schedule like back to school and you're out more, with a cat, you move the couch an inch and they freak out. So just think about when you change your schedule in a bigger way. So, and this isn't just cats, dogs feel it very much as well. Um, so, we're going to give some tips today about how to help you and your precious pet navigate
Right?
changes with more ease.
Absolutely. So, the different times of the year are actually affecting different elements in our body, and the elements in our body affect our organs, and our organs affect everything else. So it's actually important. And this is from Zong Fu theory. That is an Asian understanding that's been around for thousands of years. Some people call it traditional Oriental medicine. There are a lot of different names for it, but there's five element theory saying that there are these five elements and they influence different times of year, different times of day, different organs of the body, different energies in our body. And this also applies to animals because they're mammals, right? So in the spring, we have wood, which is growth and new beginnings. It's the start of something. In the summer, we have fire, which is expansion and joy and activity. Late summer and early fall, which is the time that we're going into now, is earth, and that's grounding, harvest, and transition. And then autumn is like later in the fall, and that's letting go and reflection. And then winter is water, and that's rest and restoration. And it's one of the things that people have done with the advent of electricity, and this affects pets too, is a lot of times we don't live in according to the weather or the season because we have electricity that gives us the ability to keep our climate similar all year round. So like we don't like in the summer, we have long days, right? In the winter we have short days. The fall is a transition right in between those two periods, right? But a lot of us keep like we keep our cycle the same. We're not necessarily in alignment with the changes. And the thing is, if you're not in alignment, sometimes you're going to feel different symptoms or different changes in your body. And a lot of people during a seasonal shift is when they get sick or they have an injury or something comes up. And it's because they're not in alignment with that shift. And it's subconscious, but it's true. And a lot of you may have already been feeling the seasonal shift. Now, in the calendar, we're the 21st, 22nd of September and March. That's like fall and spring equinoxes, right? And then we have the solstices on the 21st of June and December, right? But a lot of times we start feeling the change beforehand. And Vicky, we were talking before the show, and you were saying that, the animals really feel it. Can you tell us more about that?
Well, they are very sensitive beings. So they, how they always say animals can sense, a storm or, even like the hurricane and they go find higher ground or, all these things. It's the same with our pets. They are clued into all the rhythms going on that we are on some level, but we aren't as sensitive to bring it to our consciousness sometimes. So fall is one of these seasons. It's a big shift because, like you said, shorter days, cooler mornings, everything is changing. And so they sense it, they get a little wobble. And so the best thing we can do is help ground them, which helps us too. But this is a time to really pay attention and really give them those extra snuggles, give them that extra grounding because their sense of, shifts are happening. They're just a little off center.
And so the touch from the human guardian grounds the animal, right?
Yes.
Yep. Yep.
Yes. So
Yep.
the two of you connecting, so that's why extra cuddle time, and especially when you leave the house, um, because they're like, oh, they're leaving, they like you around, and instead of you bolting out the door, rushing, focus on where you're going, take a moment and pause, pet your pet, sit with them just a minute and take some deep calming breaths and just say, we're both going to be okay. I'm going to go out for a little bit and I'll be back.
So you're communicating with them before you leave.
Yeah, and
Yep.
so you're
Yep.
helping settle them, so and they see you leave in a calm way, so then they're going to be calm too. Because when you bolt out the door all stressed, they're like, "Oh, mom's stressed. Oh no, should I be stressed?" And so
Right.
we want to leave both of you with that nice transition period of being away with that nice grounded, connected, loving feeling, and that will make a big
Absolutely.
difference.
Absolutely. And it's interesting because so if continuing on the theme of what I was talking about, so in the spring, it's the liver and gallbladder that are like in predominance, and they're focusing on being people organizing, getting a vision, spring cleaning, and then the negative emotion can be frustration if achieving your vision is blocked. In this summer, that's going to be the heart and small intestine, and that's when people are feeling joy and connection and overexcitement if they're unbalanced. And then in the late summer, which is our time now, it's stomach and spleen, and it's nourishment. And if people are out of balance or animals, it's worry, which is what you were just alluding to, right? So you're grounding them so they're not worried. In the autumn, when where it's working with metal, that's lung and large intestine meridians, and that has to do with letting go. And if there's an imbalance, people can experience a lot of grief. And winter is water, and that's bladder and kidneys. And that's rest. That could also be willpower. And sometimes it's fear if there's a deficiency. So what we're trying to do is also grounding. It's not just, petting your pet. It's being in touch with your body. So stretching, exercise. There are you could press some acupoints. Like there's a point right here where the arm meets the torso. That's on the stomach spleen meridian right here. And like if you imagine you have a pair of overalls and you're sticking your thumbs in there and you're like doing this, that point right here, that is that's a point that will get out of balance or congested if there's an imbalance in the energy flow. And I literally just did a stomach spleen clearing for a client the other day. Their liver, large intestine, and their stomach spleen meridians were commingled. And once I worked them individually to get them to have the energy flowing in the specific meridians, the client, their mood changed. They felt better. They didn't feel as frustrated. The frustration is the liver and gallbladder energy. They felt more peaceful, like calmer, like their frustration level came down about 50%. So, it is important because if the earth element is not flowing the way, the energy isn't flowing the way it should be through the meridians, and this is for animals too,
Absolutely.
people can experience an out of balance energy with earth, and that could show up like as worry or like a different kind of frustration. And so it's really important that you work with it. Vicky and I both studied animal massage. And animals have meridians too. And Vicky talks about it in her books. Like she talks about in her books. And I teach about it in my shiatsu classes and my Tuina classes and my acupressure classes. So I mean, it's one of those things where people definitely need to work on clearing those points. So, and on the animals too, right,
Yeah, well,
Vicky?
that's just what I was going to say.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
for you, this would be a great exercise when you do it for you.
yeah,
When you're balancing you, you're helping your pet.
yep,
That because they are part of the energy flow and feeling you and resonating. So, just you helping you is helping them. Then you can take it a step further. After you finish you, go to them on that same point.
their
Just
little, their little, their little leg
yeah,
attaches
their
to their
little leg,
torso,
but they're on all fours. You just have to
right?
remember,
It's like on her,
but the same
right?
meridians exist with the animals, the same points, the same meanings. And so that would be a nice bonding exercise for the two of you to double dip there.
Right. And you could tap those points. And if you press it on yourself and it feels like it hurts, you go, ow, you want to go counterclockwise on that. go counterclockwise on that point. If you press on it and it pulls you in, you want to go clockwise on that because it's having to do with tonifying or sedating. So like tonifying is if you don't like you need more energy, you need to go clockwise. If you need less energy, you go counterclockwise. So sometimes points have too much energy or sometimes they don't have enough energy. And so if you go counterclockwise, you're reducing the too much energy. If you go clockwise, you're increasing the not enough energy until it gets to neutral and then it stops hurting. And that's for the animals too. That applies for them also, right? Because
Tip
again,
for the animals, light pressure.
yes,
The meridians are
yes.
just below the skin. You
Yep.
don't, it doesn't take much pressure. And with
Nope.
animals, if they get it out, they may bolt, and
Right.
that's not
So
going to
you'll
help.
know if you're pressing too hard.
Exactly. But then you've lost the chance. So you want to err on the side of
Right.
going in gently.
So
And
think about it. If you press on yourself, I'd say probably like a fifth of that amount of pressure. Like if you press on your own body, go like 20% of that is probably what would work for animals, right, Vicky? Would
well,
you say?
yeah, and the easiest thing is the weight of a nickel. Put the weight of a
Yep,
nickel on your
5 grams
finger
of pressure.
or your palm, and you feel it, and it's like, oh, that's very
5 grams of
light.
pressure. Like, and most humans, they tend when they press on themselves, they're probably using 25 grams of pressure, right? Something like that.
Yeah. You're
Usually,
using a lot more on your own self because you're
right.
really digging in. And with animals, it's like, no, you're just
No
like
digging.
touching the skin. Yeah.
No digging. Also, I relate that to
Well, you can
teens.
lie, and they want a little deeper, then you can go a little deeper. But there again, it's slow. Let them, either lean into it, give you permission. Because, like I said, if you hit it too hard, they're bolting. You've lost the moment.
If you rub that and they lean in, that means they're deficient. They're Q. And you want to go clockwise because if they want you to touch, that means there's a deficiency there. If they like pull away from your touch, that means there's too much energy. You want to go counterclockwise for that.
Yeah, and when
Yep,
she's saying pull away, that you're still touching, but it's a subtle movement to watch.
totally. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So
It's
I guess if they bolt, that might be the same thing too. But
right.
you want to keep you connected so that you can get the power of the point with them.
I relate like massaging a teen is a lot like massaging a cat because if you touch them they'll bolt. You have to be careful, like you have to sneak up on. I'm kidding. I'm joking. With teens anyway, you have to like gently come in, act like you're not doing it, like touch them but pretend like you're not touching them, like look somewhere else. And that probably doesn't apply to cats at all, but the
Yeah,
bolting thing is similar
go
though.
in intense, that's for sure. You have to be very gentle and yeah, and
Absolutely.
sometimes I'm having to like rub somewhere else when I'm working a point just so their focus is somewhere else so they let me.
Yeah, so it's a distraction technique.
Yeah,
Oh
so
yeah.
because then they're like, oh, okay.
So, that's exactly like it is with teens. You just like go somewhere else, look somewhere else, talk about something else while you're casually do do do.
Yeah, we
Well, the
have our
thing,
ways as healers of getting the benefits. Yeah, for
oh,
you and your pets. So.
absolutely. Now the thing is, sometimes you might say this, or you might hear other people say this, I'm sad summer is over. And it's possible that those people might actually have seasonal affective disorder. But by the way, sidebar, you can actually get that in summer too, not just winter. But if people know that they habitually get depressed in winter, you might hear them say, "I'm sad that summer's leaving, and I wish it would stay." And so and if you're like that, when you get to winter, there are things you can do to offset seasonal affective disorder. And we have talked about this in prior podcasts a while back. I don't remember which it was probably winter of 1 or 2 years ago. But we have talked about it. Vicky, where can people find your podcast or our podcast, this show, and yours, your individual show?
Yes, you can go to my website, healingyouranimal.com, and go to news tab, which then comes up media. um, and you'll see it right there on the right side of the column. The other place is for a while we did it on Facebook. Now we're doing it on YouTube Live. So
Great.
you can definitely go to my YouTube channel, which is Vicky Draper. There's a link on my website, healingyouranimal.com, that you can
Mhm.
easily get over there. And you'll see our past podcasts.
Yes. Yep. Yep, but seasonal affective disorder is a thing. You definitely want to address it as soon as possible to try to get it before it gets too, exacerbated. And you want to be aware of the seasonal shift and you want to honor it and you want to accept it. And so, in human terms, they'll talk about like eating earthing foods, like not, if you want to eat a lot of light foods and salads in summer, you're going to probably want more root vegetables or heavier foods in the fall as you're transitioning into winter, right? You're definitely going to want to make sure you do your exercise. You're probably going to need more sleep, especially as you head into winter, but even in this transition. And you just want to be aware of your body, and do what you can to do like be aware of your body and the earth element, which is your body. Like, so hydrate it, take care of it, get enough sleep, exercise your body, stretch, all those things are important. And you can reach me, by the way, if you need to reach me, if you want to connect with me for like if you need a treatment for acupressure or you need something, I'm at arielhubbard.com. On there, you can find ways to text me or email me to set up an appointment. Texting is always best, but that's a way to reach me as well. And that's my first and last name, Ariel, and then Hubbard like old mother Hubbard.com. And that's a way to reach me as well. What other tips do you have, Vicky,
Well,
for
let me share
people?
how they can reach me.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. Well, you said healing your animal, right?
Oh, I did. Sorry. I was
Yeah, yeah.
thinking we
Yeah,
were
healing
doing
your animal.
that.
There is
Yeah,
that
well, let me
there
just share. I offer a free
Oh
assessment.
yes, yes,
We
of
meet
course.
over Zoom. That's the piece.
Yep.
And it's on healingyouranimal.com. Just
Yep.
scroll down and you can easily sign up and we'll discuss your needs, your issues, and I've got multiple resources to point you to, like my
Oh yeah.
books. I have my own line of healing essences that are natural. And then we have our private sessions. I have classes I teach. So anyway, so the assessment can help you get the right fit for your budget and everything
Mhm.
like that, where the
Yep.
healing sessions are the deepest and the most profound. All these other tools are there that help support you at whatever level you're interested in. And so love to connect. And yeah, so with your animals, it goes back to you. So everything Ariel is saying, listen, get support for you because that's really the first step. And so do some grounding techniques. And she had said like some stretches or even, walking outdoors, connecting with the ground, because then you're bringing that energy to your pet and they are always there to help us. They're like little sponges. So if you're always all over the place and scattered, they're taking that on and sometimes they can't clear it themselves. And then that's when they start really having issues. So a lot of my practice is helping clear the animals from what's going on
With the people.
with the people. And then that's why Ariel and I are a great team because our work really goes hand in hand. And so, yeah, so your animals, they're looking to you. So they're mirrors. They're mirrors. So if they're acting out and they're all crazy, look at you. Are you? Are you scattered? Because it could be they're mirroring you. They're picking up on you. And so I
Absolutely.
know my own cats. I have cats right now. They do that for me. It's like, oh, okay, I need to look at me. It's like getting a little out of balance or
Right. So if you come home, if someone goes home and then their animals are freaking out, they need to look to themselves to where they're freaking out, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
It's
So
I mean, it's a good way to check in and to
it
see
is.
what's going on with yourself if that's what's going on with your animal.
Well, right, because Spirit, the one that's featured in the middle book there, my black kitty, he's a great barometer for me. If I get frustrated, if I'm even at my computer and I'm frustrated because of something, he comes over and he's right in my face and literally in my face and licking and he's like, I just get frustrated. Then I figured out he was helping me. He was like telling me, chill out, slow down. And so
Well,
I would
it's
just take a
yeah.
pause and connect with him and go, oh, thank you. It's so counterintuitive. But when I would take a pause and thank you, take a deep breath, put him down, he was happy. I was happier because then I was settled to go on and tackle the issue I was trying to work through in a calm way.
You know, what's
So
interesting is, I mean, and like, not like you would necessarily know this in the moment, but he might have been licking your acupoints for your gallbladder, which is like manifest frustration, right? Because it starts in the corner of your eyes, it goes around your ears and up to your forehead, and then up over, and it zigzags down through the body and out through the pinky toe, right? I mean, the fourth toe, sorry, fourth toe. And so, like, he might have been like, there might have been like zaps of gallbladder energy, like shooting out of your face. And he might have been like putting his tongue on those points to clear. Because a lot of times when I'm working on people, and if they have a release out through an acupoint, right? They'll like scratch. I was working on a woman, and I was working with her a couple meridians in her legs, and all of a sudden she starts working this one. And I'm like, oh, that's bladder too.
right.
So he might have been like going for points on your face.
That's true. That is true because he is so sensitive, and yeah, so he really keeps me honest and aligned, and because I practice what I teach. So yeah,
It's good. I mean, it's good, and it's good for, our listeners to know, like, if your animals are doing weird things, there's something going on, and you might want to contact Vicky for that. And then, if your energy is off and you need help, you could contact me for that, and we can both help you. Both of our websites have a lot of extra resources on them, either information or blogs or visuals or other resources. So you guys might want to check them out because there is a lot of stuff on there. Um, for you to get additional support so that you can, live a happier, more balanced life with your beings and yourself.
yes, and that's what Ariel and I are both committed to is really the educational piece,
Yeah,
empowering you. So empowering you empowers your pets, and we want you living your best life. So we're providing
absolutely.
the tools and the way, and then the extra support when you need that, the healing sessions. So
Absolutely. That, and we're definitely all about that. So, do you have any other tips that you could suggest?
oh, I do one
Okay.
that's really, really easy and really, really powerful. So the center, well, you can't see the center of your chest. Right in the center, Ariel's going to know this, is CV17. It's
17.
an acupressure point. Well, our pets have that too. And it's one of the most calming points on the body. And so it's so easy. It's why I love teaching this
Mhm.
because our pets love it. You'll get the benefit. So you can actually hold the center of your chest and hold the center of their chest. And it just
Aw,
connects that loving bond. So it's grounding and calming and for both of you. And it's nice. So all you have to do is just put it on the center. You put your whole hand just on the center of the chest, under their front legs in the center, because you're going to be connecting with it. Yeah. And so the point will be, somewhere in here, and you'll be connecting. So you don't have to be specific to help it and to activate it. And that's what makes it nice and easy to find because it's on the center of the chest for both of you.
hugs and snugs.
Yes.
Arr.
Yes.
That's so cute.
Also, it enhances bonding. That's one of the things I'm really about is enhancing the pet guardian relationship. And so it's calming both of you. It's a bonding, so it's just providing a lot of rich connection there.
That's beautiful. And also, like, I'm gonna give one more point that you guys can do on the ball of your foot or the balls of your pet's feet. There's kidney one point, and that's good for grounding just in general. So, like, just under the ball of the foot, like if this is the ball of the foot right here, that's where you would press, and you could just hold it, and you could do this on your own feet. You could sit in a yoga pose and do that, or you can hold, the feet of your wonderful quadruped and do it for them. Maybe
Yeah,
not the
so for your
horses.
pet,
Maybe
they
not
have
the
that
horses,
big,
but
right. So for the pet,
yeah.
they have the big pad. They have the little toe beans. They got the
Yes.
big pad. So it's just in the center underneath that big pad.
Yes. And so that's a good way to ground them and to ground yourself.
And for the pets, I know you don't want to hold it very long.
Probably not. I mean, they're
Yeah.
probably not going to let you do that, right?
True.
Maybe,
So
I'm
just
guessing.
actually just touching it or even just hanging out for 5 seconds is stimulating. And for pets, that's generally enough for that point, just because it's a powerful point.
They don't need it as much as we do.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ours is going to be longer, probably
Right.
10 to 20 seconds would be good.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, we've covered some good stuff today. How can people reach you one more time?
All right. Simple. Just remember healingyuranimal.com website, and all my information is on there where you can find lots of resources as well as past newsletters and sign up for my newsletter if you like. Also, the free assessment, invite you to, connect, because really that's my passion, is helping you and your pets live your best. And so then Ariel.
They can reach me at arielhover.com, and you can look at my blog where I have a video of me giving energy work, and you can actually see it beaming out of my hands. I have you can read about the treatments that I offer long distance and in person, and then you can also read about all the classes I offer, of which there are many.
Oh,
So
that
yeah,
brings a point. My work, you don't have to be local.
yep,
It's also
yep,
very remote in distance, because yes.
yep, yep. So great. Well, this has been a great time. We're usually here the first Thursday of every month. We did take a break over the summer, but we're here the first Thursday of the month, usually right around 10 o'clock, sometimes a little earlier, but we're here. And then you can check out this past episodes on Vicky's site.
Yes,
So,
great to
all
be with
right.
you today, and we'll see
We'll
you next month.